Because here's the reality, trust drives results. And this is exactly what we build inside my unstoppable trust system. This is where we identify how what you're doing now is misaligned with the behaviors of a coach who is fully booked, confident, and making consistent income. Once we pinpoint these gaps and where the trust is lacking, we begin to upgrade what you're doing to be in alignment with where you want to go. It's pretty simple. Inside the Unstoppable Trust System, there are 13 very specific, pinpointed areas that are relevant in business that most people overlook. Hey there, and welcome to the Life and Business on Purpose podcast, where purpose meets profit and mindset meets strategy. I'm your host, Sandy Patterson, former kindergarten teacher turned online business coach, mom of 2 really cool boys, and the creator of the Momentum Method. Through this 3-phase method over the past 2.5 years, I have helped dozens of women build values-aligned, profitable businesses without working 40+ hours a week, so they get to enjoy their business and live their lives on purpose. Around here, we do business differently because we believe success isn't about hustling to prove ourselves. We don't believe in rigid formulas or chasing someone else's version of success. It's about channeling perfection into power, moving with unstoppable trust in life and business, and leading with strategy that actually fits your life. Let's build your life and business on purpose together, one episode at a time. Here we go. One question I get asked all the time is, Sandy, how many clients do I need to feel really confident in my business to leave my 9-to-5? How much revenue do I need to feel really secure? Today, I'm sharing why the key to booking out your coaching business is not about hitting a magic number of clients or a certain amount of revenue in 1 month. This is about identifying a gap that most business owners do not even realize exists and aligning yourself to be the fully booked out coach that's thriving inside a sustainable business that's bringing in revenue and impact every single day. It's about uncovering the hidden trust gap between where you are now and the fully booked out version of you and aligning your actions to match her. I'm Sandy Patterson, former teacher turned online business coach for women who are ready to lead themselves and build businesses that support their lives, not run it. I work with recovering perfectionists and people pleasers to help them unhook from the pressure to get it just right and instead grow with aligned strategy, mindset that builds true self-trust, and leadership rooted in who they are. Because building a business should be the thing that helps you live life on your own terms, not the thing that takes it over. Now, in case you haven't listened, in the last episode, we talked about how perfectionism isn't actually the problem. It's how you're using it that keeps you stuck. I shared the first pillar in my Momentum Method, Perfection to Power, and broke down how to unhook from performative productivity, create safety for messy action, and start channeling your high standards into strategy and leverage that actually moves the needle forward. If you haven't listened to that yet, make sure you go back and tune into that one before diving in here, because today we're building on it with the next pillar. And before we get into this, if you already know you're playing small, waiting on a certain amount of clients or revenue to have you feeling like a confident CEO, and you want to learn how to build a business that relies on self-trust, not on the external things happening around you, you have 2 options. You can book your absolutely free, no pressure growth gap audit call. On this call, we'll take a look at your current business structure, identify your gaps, and I'll show you how to close those gaps so you can get better results with less effort by working smarter and focusing your time on what actually moves the needle forward. The link for that is in the show notes. Or if you've been around the block and you know what I'm all about and you are ready to go all in, you can apply for my mastermind or private coaching. The link for that is also in the show notes. Now, today I'm breaking down the second pillar inside my signature Momentum Method. This is my signature method that I use with all of my clients in all of my work, all of my offers, where we turn perfectionism into power, build unshakable self-trust, and create sustainable strategies that actually support your life. So basically, we're building a business that feels like you, is booked out, making the income and impact you know you're meant to make, and that actually feels fun to run and show up for every day, not like a boulder being pushed up a gigantic hill. Now, many coaches believe that the faster they sign clients, the quicker they're going to hit their goals and the quicker they'll feel confident in a fully booked out business. When we do more, because we lack self-trust, it looks like having a strategy, but adding 10 extra things just in case, right? And instead of ending the day feeling really accomplished and really proud, we spend hours overthinking and worrying that we're missing something. We're missing that magic key that's going to unlock everything, and that we should or could be doing more. It's this constant uneasy feeling, and no matter how much effort we put in, that feeling never really goes away, because you guys, it was never about doing more. It's about layering trust into every action we take. Because let's be honest, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about booking out your business? You think, okay, I have to rev up the engine. I got to do more. I've got to post more, send more emails, show up on more platforms and more places. We have been instilled with this belief that doing more equals more. So this belief that you have to have a certain amount of clients or revenue to feel confident and successful is limiting, because it keeps you stuck in the doing phase without upgrading your internal systems. You might be hustling hard and doing all the things, but if your mindset and your strategy are not aligned with the identity of a successful full-time coach, no matter how many clients you do or don't have, no amount of clients is going to bring you long-term success. You're going to feel the exact same way that you do right now. The truth is, and what I'm about to say is going to shake you a little, so just hold on. Doing more doesn't actually book out your business. It just leaves you feeling exhausted and wondering how long you can sustain what you're doing. Think about it this way. Imagine cooking a meal and thinking, if I just add more spices, it'll taste better. So you dump in the garlic and the cinnamon and the turmeric and the rosemary and the hot sauce and the sugar and all the spices you can find in your cupboard. Obviously, the dish is going to end up confusing and disgusting and inedible. This is exactly what's happening when you decide to try out every strategy you see another coach doing on Instagram, buy just one more course, sign up for just one more thing that's going to be that magic key to unlock the sustainability and growth in your coaching business. You're thinking, I just want to be booked out, and you're doing it from a belief of, I have to do all of the things. So you've got this frantic energy, this frantic action. There's no alignment. There's no solid strategy. So one, you're burning out and you've barely even gotten started. You're exhausted, which means you cannot sustain this, and you feel frustrated every step of the way. And two, that comes through everything you're doing to grow your business. It shines through because everything feels all over the place. And then you have to post at the end of the day. And what am I going to say? And nothing is coming through that's actually about what you really believe in, why you started doing this in the first place. Now, this frantic energy stems from a lack of self-trust. It's a very specific type of trust, and it leads to slower results, burnout, and self-doubt, leaving you doing everything and wondering why nothing is working while everyone else seems to be just cruising right along. Now, on the other hand, when you have aligned strategic action taken from a place of flow, that's going to create faster results that feel good, are sustainable and easy, like momentum, not that constant uphill push. This is why it's not just about throwing everything out there and doing more. It is about having the trust to know that doing less of the right things are 100% going to produce the desired results. Now, pillar number 2, my unstoppable trust system, works by identifying where what you're doing now is misaligned with the behaviors of a coach who is fully booked out, confident, and making consistent income. Once we can pinpoint these gaps and where the trust is lacking, we begin to upgrade what you're doing incrementally so as not to overload your nervous system, to be in alignment with where you want to be. So when it comes down to booking out your business, it comes down to trust. Plain and simple, that's all it is. Trusting you know that you're going to be able to achieve it, trusting that you know what you need, trusting that you know what strategy is going to work best for you. Because that frantic energy coming from a place of mistrust equals slower results, a shit ton of frustration, no results, wanting to throw the towel in, coming this close to burning it all down and saying, what the heck am I even doing? And asking, why am I doing all the things and nothing is working? Looking at other people and saying, why is it so easy for them? What the heck am I missing here? Versus when you have aligned strategic action coming from a place of self-trust instead of pressure, that's going to equal faster results, and it's going to give you the results that actually have you feeling genuinely confident, not just fake it till you make it or show up as her now, and excited to show up for your business, not dreading it every day. Because here's the reality, trust drives results. And this is exactly what we build inside my unstoppable trust system. This is where we identify how what you're doing now is misaligned with the behaviors of a coach who is fully booked, confident, and making consistent income. Once we pinpoint these gaps and where the trust is lacking, we begin to upgrade what you're doing to be in alignment with where you want to go. It's pretty simple. Inside the Unstoppable Trust System, there are 13 very specific, pinpointed areas that are relevant in business that most people overlook. We look at each area individually to identify those gaps and see where you need to begin to make immediate upgrades to start building that unwavering trust to run a fully booked out coaching business that's making money. Because when you identify these and you begin to move in the right direction incrementally, your business begins to quote unquote work. Right? Now, let me share a quick story about one of my clients. When we started working together, she was overwhelmed, completely stuck in analysis paralysis, constantly second guessing herself. Overthinking was out of control. It was very difficult for her to make decisions or move forward on anything inside her business without permission. She was signing clients, but her mindset wasn't aligned with the success that she was working so hard for, doing all the things. Through the Unstoppable Trust System, we identified the gaps in her habits and beliefs, and together we worked to shift her focus. We worked on being more visible, posting more authority content outside of just value and educational content, creating offers she's never launched before, and raising her prices. Today, she's not only fully booked out, but she's doubled her income because her identity and trust shifted first. That self-trust is what led to these results. Think of this pillar like upgrading your GPS system, okay? If you're not getting the results you want, it's like trying to get to a new destination with an old map. You're going to need to reset your route, which is your mindset, behaviors, and strategy to reach the destination without getting lost along the way or wasting a ton of time. Now, it's about using this unstoppable trust system to help you get there faster and more efficiently. This is the second pillar inside my 3-step signature method, the momentum method, which is the key to building a business that is rooted in self-trust, led by aligned strategy, and designed to grow without sacrificing your sanity, your values, or real life. This method helps recovering perfectionists unhook from hustle, rewire how they operate, and finally lead their business from a place of clarity, conviction, and personal power. Inside the first pillar, we already know that feeling confident as a business owner isn't about silencing your inner perfectionist or pretending you don't care about doing things well. It's about channeling your high standards strategically so they serve your growth instead of stalling it. So we unhook from the pressure to prove, perform, or over-deliver, and instead use your drive for excellence and high standards to create focused offers, clean decisions, and a business that supports your life. The next step inside the momentum method, and you know this because we just chatted about it, is the unstoppable trust system. It's not just any trust though. It's about identifying that gap where you are now and where you want to be, and aligning your habits, focus, and strategy with the version of you who's already confident and fully booked out. And that comes from self-trust. Inside this unstoppable trust system, we pinpoint the misalignment between your current approach and a fully booked out business. And there's 13 markers that we look at individually. And then we start to upgrade step by step how you show up and move so your business can catch up to the identity and income you're ready for. And the third and final piece to building a sustainable long-term business isn't about hitting one high cash month or making money once. It's about having a content, marketing, and sales strategy that aligns with your values, fits your life, and supports the people and priorities that matter most to you. True sustainability comes from building a system that's fully aligned with your values, your voice, and your vision. So you're not just running a successful business, but one that feels like you, creates meaningful impact, and gives you both financial and time freedom. The Momentum Method has been transformative and the key to unlocking my clients' businesses and lives. And it has them going from saying, Sandy, I am doing so much and nothing seems to be working, to sending me screenshot after screenshot of wins. Now, if you're ready to see how we can apply this to your business, you have two options. You can book your absolutely free, no pressure growth gap audit call. On this call, we'll take a look at your current business structure, identify where those gaps are, and I'll show you how to close those gaps so you can get better results with less effort by working smarter and focusing your time on what actually moves the needle forward. The link for that call is in the show notes. Or if you've been around the block and you know what I'm all about and you are ready to go all in, you can apply for my mastermind or private coaching. The link for both of those is in the show notes as well. This was part 2 of a 3-part series. Next week, I'll be diving into the third pillar of the Momentum Method, values-based strategy, where we will dive into how to create a business that's not only sustainable, but deeply aligned with your unique values, voice, and vision. We'll explore how to craft a content, marketing, and sales plan that feels authentic, supports your lifestyle and the season you're in, and empowers you to build a business that doesn't just thrive financially, but it also gives you the time and freedom to live life on your own terms. So hit that follow button so you don't miss it. And if this episode hit home, please consider leaving a review, hitting those stars, and sending it to your biz bestie who's also ready to move faster, more efficiently, and ready to figure out those gaps to fill to move the needle forward. I will see you all next time. Mwah. If you are sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, this episode was made for me, you have 2 options. You can book your absolutely free, no pressure growth gap audit call. On this call, we'll take a look at your current life and business structure, identify where your gaps are, and show you how to close those gaps so you can get better results with less effort by working smarter and focusing your time on what actually moves the needle forward. The link is in the show notes for you. Or if you're ready to go from one-off wins to repeatable revenue with structure, strategy, and sales that support your life and keep dream clients coming back and your calendar full without burning out, you can apply to work together by clicking the link in the show notes. Make sure you hit that follow button so you don't miss any new episodes. And if this episode hits home, please consider leaving a review, hitting those stars, and sending it to your biz bestie who's also ready to build a life and business on purpose. I'll see you next time.